Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Doug,
And I'm Lindsay.
and this is Good Suffering. Now, Lorenzo is in the discussion this week, but we had to record that prior to my trip out here to the Midwest. But we didn't want to do, some old horror news, so me and Lindsay are here to take care of the first half of this episode.
Of horror news.
Oh my God, Jesus! You've been waiting weeks to say that. Okay.
And I ruined it.
Oh my God. So, first off, A24 is going to fully produce Ari Aster's new film. Now, this is some news that's been in the works. Ari Aster is the director of this year's horror extravaganza, Hereditary,
Ooh.
which you didn't see in theaters.
I haven't seen, period.
True. You didn't see it at all. But his new film is going to be another pagan cult movie. Not all that unlike Hereditary, but it's going to be set in Scandinavia during some kind of weird folk summer festival. More details have been rolling out over the past couple of months, and I'm super excited about it. Although, he's just staying in the realm of Hereditary, I think it can be pretty interesting, and I'm excited to see what he can do. Especially considering Hereditary was his debut feature, and was such a strong opener. I can only name a few directors that have had that strong an opening, especially in the genre.
Okay.
But
Nice.
you're gonna like this. You're gonna like this next piece of news.
Oh, I like that already.
Do you see it?
No, I like the first thing.
Oh my God!
I didn't know that about him. I didn't know Hereditary. I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was a
first feature.
debut.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
That's cool. Yeah. That's exciting. I'll see it eventually.
Now, Peter Jackson and his team are doing 4K restorations with special features.
I did hear about this.
With the works of Dead Alive,
Uh-huh.
Which is Good Suffering's debut episode, and a personal favorite of mine and Lindsay's. I think that's your favorite horror movie, right?
If not my favorite, probably my second favorite.
Hell yeah.
Or third.
Or
Up
third.
there. Top three.
Fair. I mean, it's my second favorite movie of all time.
Okay.
Meet the Feebles and Bad Taste, his first three regional films that are all fantastic. I think, they're my favorite Peter Jackson movies, but a big surprise. And I'm super excited because I have the Blu-ray for Dead Alive, which I paid a number I really don't want to talk about on the podcast for on the aftermarket. But it's a super bare bones release, as are the DVDs for Meet the Feebles and Bad Taste. So I'm really excited to see a really nice transfer that's given a lot of love from the director himself, who has really kind of stayed away from those movies, especially since really hitting Hollywood big with Lord of the Rings and whatnot. So I'm really happy that he's coming back around to them, and hopefully it's gonna be full of special features and some behind the scenes stuff that he can put together. I'm really excited for it. Because I love all of those movies, especially Dead Alive, which deserves a hell of a lot better than a bare bones release where the cover's just the poster and it's got the fucking trailer and that's it besides the film, which was basically just an upgrade from the DVD. It's not even all that special of a transfer.
Yeah. Hopefully this time it will be a little extra.
Yeah.
Extra lovin'.
Yeah.
Maybe more people will actually pay attention to it.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully. I think it's dreadfully underrated. Even though it is a bigger movie, I wouldn't call it obscure, but I definitely think it should be bigger
it's
than
definitely
what it is.
in the middle of it. I haven't met anybody outside of you who liked that until this month. So
Sci-Fi, the Sci-Fi Channel is doing some sort of continuations to the Killer Clowns from Outer Space franchise. Finally, something other than the original movie, and something involving critters. Which it's not clear right now whether it's going to be a reboot or a sequel or something else. But if it's anything like their new Leprechaun movie that they have coming out in March of next year.
Leprechauns.
Have you seen the Leprechaun movies?
No.
No,
I love them with the Irish.
It's a whole. Oh my God. It's a whole ass horror franchise with an evil leprechaun. He goes to space. He goes to the hood twice. Goes to the hood twice.
I never even. I didn't know that it even existed.
Yeah, Jennifer Aniston's the star of the first movie, before she was even famous.
Okay, then I'm interested.
Yeah. Before she got the nose job too, so she's got a big old honker on her.
I couldn't even tell you that I knew that she had a nose job.
That is a very famous thing. They make fun of that in Friends, actually.
I've never seen Friends.
Oh my God.
But I love Big Time Rush.
Oh my god! But if it's anything like the new Leprechaun they have coming out, it will be a continuation of the series, and I'm hoping for some kind of sequel, or it doesn't even have to be related for Killer Clowns. You know what I mean? It's been so many years. Just bring them back, and I know the Kyoto brothers are coming back to do all the effects and whatnot, so I'm super excited. Cool. Then the final little piece of horror news is this: LeBron James is in yeah. LeBron James is in talks to do a Friday the 13th reboot, to like produce one with his company,
James.
who's apparently like
LeBron James.
yeah, basketball superstar and partial owner of Blaze Pizza.
Literally?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I know,
Love
right?
him. Okay, I encourage this.
And he is going to be a producer on the new Space Jam movie, which he's also going to star in.
There's going to be another Space Jam movie?
Space Jam 2, baby. He's taking Michael Jordan's place.
This is the most involved in horror news I've ever felt. Like 3 things in a row that I'm like, okay.
But yeah, he's in talks to produce a reboot of Friday the 13th, which may or may not happen, just because, everything's always speculation until it happens.
Yeah.
And also because there is still an ongoing legal battle between Sean Cunningham and Victor Miller over just the rights to the franchise. So, that's what cut off the game. 2 games. There was a mobile game, too. Like a Friday the 13th puzzle game.
I thought you were talking about basketball game.
No. There's
I'm still thinking about LeBron James.
Jesus. There's, the Friday the 13th franchise is in, peril. And the last movie we had was a reboot already, you know what I mean? Like a remake. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they're just going to do another remake, if it's going to be some kind of soft continuation. But yeah. Well, I guess that's all the horror news. Okay, here. Let's end it with this. We saw Halloween.
We did.
We saw it a little late. If you're on the Twitter, then you'll see that I didn't see it until the Tuesday after it came out.
Yeah, what was it, like 4 days, 5 days later?
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It came out Friday,
Tuesday.
but
six
that
days.
means Thursday, right?
Yeah.
I still don't know how the movie theater works. I'm learning.
But what did me and Lorenzo are probably gonna do an episode about it.
Yeah, like a short little thing.
Yeah, like how we did for Hereditary, or I did for The Nun.
Okay,
by myself in my room.
Oh wow, that wasn't in your car?
I think that's Lorenzo's favorite episode, just because he's not in it.
We love to hear your voice, Lorenzo. It puts me to sleep. It's so soothing.
Yeah, that's why people tune in. They don't care about horror. They just want to hear Lorenzo's sultry, bassful voice.
I'm a fan. I know. I feel bad for everybody who's listening to like the next or past,
like
the middle 3 episodes. I guess this is going up. So
yeah, this is going up. This is the first
2
time.
or 3 episodes.
Hey, it's the first time anybody's hearing Lindsay on the podcast.
Hello. I still don't know how to use the microphone.
10 words or less. What did you think of the new Halloween 2018? Halloween, David Gordon Green's Halloween.
I'm vegan, so
to preface that, you have only seen the original,
right?
Besides this,
I was gonna say, like, if we include that, I guess I've only seen the original Halloween 1 time, and I planned on watching it once or maybe twice before I go in to see this movie, and I fucking didn't because I'm a busy gal. 10 words or less.
It doesn't have to be strict.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Laurie is a queen.
Okay. Hot, vague take.
I had a good time.
So today we're talking about Tommy Lee Wallace's 1982 film, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Lorenzo, you got that IMDb?
Sure do. I got it right here. This is the synopsis of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Kids all over America want silver shamrock masks for Halloween. Dr. Daniel Chalice seeks to uncover a plot by silver shamrock owner Colonel Cochran.
Colonel Cochran.
Colonel. That's it, by the way.
That's the whole thing?
Yeah, that sucked.
It's more like he needs to uncover.
Yeah, that's that really bad. Kids all over America
body.
want the masks, right? Dr. Daniel seeks to uncover a plot by that's just bad writing. we were on such a hot streak and then all of a
IMDb
sudden
letting us down,
yeah,
right?
we hit Hell House 2 and then it was just downhill.
Well, so what'd you think of it? We watched this together.
Hey, you want to just let everyone know how we keep breaking fucking form?
Uh-huh.
God.
Uh-huh.
But this time, Doug was very good. Very good. He was a good boy about not talking
Just
about
like
it.
constantly talking about a movie.
You didn't talk
I'm
about
getting
it.
better. We
You
should
didn't
watch
talk about
more
it.
movies together.
No, we're not. We're going to continue to not break form. We're going to actually do this right. Although, I don't think... Did we say that like in our original episode that we have to watch it separately? Or did we just say that we can't?
Dude, that was like March. I don't know.
I'm trying to remember.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of the fine print and get a way out of...
All I remember is being like afraid that my mom was gonna hear me like constantly curse in the first episode. Being like, oh boy, my mom's gonna probably listen to this, and she didn't.
Has she hasn't yet?
No, I've kept her away.
Are you know for sure?
Eh.
I know
I'm not 100% sure she knows what the name of this podcast is.
You know what's weird is that like I know a lot of people like that know me outside of like our circle of friends, like people from work.
Our circle of friends being Taylor.
Yeah, like know it. They listen to this, and it's weird because I've not only talked about like my own like childhood stuff with like horror, weird daddy
Smoking
issues,
weed and being fucking gay, bro.
daddy issues related to XX.
Heyo.
Let's see. Where I've alluded to any kinds of bad habits I've had before in the past with illicit drugs until it's legalized in the state of New Jersey. It's going to happen pretty soon.
Heyo.
Yeah, there's just a lot. Anyway.
It's very revealing. You get a
It
podcast
is.
for a few months, and now all of a sudden you just bare your soul to the
Spill your
you know.
guts.
We got people listening in Mexico and stuff. I think Japan too.
Ooh, sweet.
Podbean tells
I wonder
me.
if that's Noah, if that's you. I hope that's you. Big props, dude. He's in Japan right now, my friend. I don't
Was
know
he
if-
in Japan like 4 months ago when I looked at it?
Yeah, he's been there for a while.
Oh, okay. Hey, thanks, Noah.
I hope that's you. If not, hey, whoever you are from Japan, thanks for listening.
So, what'd you think of this one?
So what did I think of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch? I thought it was a huge deviation from the other Halloweens.
The rest of the world did too.
It was pretty jarring because I didn't realize it was going to go that deep into like weird sci-fi stuff. Like it really just, there's no slasher element whatsoever to this, which is probably a good idea. Like if you're not going to have Michael Myers, don't try to just recreate that same aura with another character. That would be stupid.
Right.
Almost as stupid as doing a sequel with no Michael Myers in it in the first place.
Heyo. A lot of heyos in this episode.
Ew. But that's not to say I didn't like it. I thought it was an interesting story. It was a lot more narrative based or plot based, I guess you could say, than I feel like the first two Halloweens are. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed like the mystery. I think the main two characters are a little dumb. A little like their relationship is just kind of ridiculous. But I still was invested in what was going on.
It's kind of abusive, you know.
Mhm.
You know, he's taking advantage of her, vulnerability.
Yeah.
And that's like a more recent criticism of it. Like that's something I've only seen come out in like the past year or so. I've seen some think pieces.
That's clearly what's going on.
Yeah,
though. That's
yeah.
yeah. It's messed up. But this whole Silver Shamrock thing was really cool. It was a cool element, to have like Silver Shamrock like literally like owning like the airwaves all the time. Attacking or going towards the kids as a way of like world domination or whatever.
It's like if Amazon did something like that.
Oh, they're going to. They're absolutely going to. Cochran, being a cool toy maker and all that is really cool. I don't know. It was a cool elements. I think it made for an overall pretty good cohesive whole of a movie. Not perfect, but it was just a good time. I think this is the kind of movie you can pop on for Halloween time. It's fall season, and you want to see something that's not like the run of the mill Halloween movies or I don't know Friday movies or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a good seasonal movie.
This is definitely Tommy Lee Wallace's best. He also directed the original 1990 It TV movie, miniseries, whatever you want to call it, and also Fright Night 2, which is due for a reappraisal of its own.
but Halloween 3 like has gone from like this hated film that, you know, audiences didn't react to. It was at the time made the least amount of money out of any of the Halloweens, and now it's like this cult favorite, and the fans of this movie are really passionate. I have a Silver Shamrock t-shirt of my own. I love this movie a whole lot, and I think it has more to do with the fact that I have a bit of nostalgia for this. I remember watching this like for the first time, and you know, this is past the Michael hype, so I don't really have a stake in it. You know what I mean? It's not like I waited all year for another Halloween or something. I don't feel tricked.
Yeah, right.
I feel like our generation and like the video and DVD generation, which has like less stake in the idea of like, shit, I need to go out and pay, you know, X amount of dollars to sit in a theater, you know, find a babysitter for my kids, you know, and come out and buy popcorn.
Yeah, you just take your kids with you.
I take my kids with me, yeah. Well, you know, we have less stake and we can enjoy something like this a bit more. That's why there's been so many reappraisals of like these movies like shit like Body Melt and Street Trash and whatnot that like, you know, were only held like they were only beloved by a certain amount of people, and now like they've got like deluxe Blu-rays that are being bought and whatnot. T-shirt companies are making shit for it, and you know, pins and hats, buttons, whatever. It's just like another example of like when accessibility becomes more accessible, that like we can, you know, look at these things in a different light because we don't have as much like personal stake in it.
And like, you know, like you said, accessibility, like we have so many different ways of getting our hands on things that were made from who knows how far back, like centuries back. Even like we have like, you know, we can read like really old books online, like on PDF or on our Kindle or whatever, you know, or we can rent like movies from like the 1940s on Amazon or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not plugging Amazon. Let's stop talking about Amazon. Fucking assholes. But
Hey, listen, Amazon Prime is like doing the best for horror out of any streaming service outside of like Shudder.
That's too bad
Because-
that it has to end then.
Because they're really pulling out some deep cuts for their Prime service.
Oh, really?
Really good
Wow,
stuff.
that's a shame.
Also, they got the X-rated cut of RoboCop. I don't know if I plugged that on the last episode. If I
Mm-hmm.
did, I'm not even sorry. I'm gonna keep saying it till it's off.
That's really...
Go on Amazon Prime, watch the X-rated cut of RoboCop.
You're going to be pretty
Best
upset when
movie
we
ever.
burn it down to the ground then. When we burn Amazon down to the ground.
Eh.
Yeah.
Eh.
Amazon deserves to end. Or at least just be remodeled in a weird way. Like totally just... You know what? We're not going to get
But
into
they're
it.
giving them $15 an hour now, man.
Look. We're not going to... This is a whole nother podcast. This is now NPR. All right, guys? Buckle in.
Check out our sub podcast, Good Economics.
Yeah, no, but so like, you know, we can look at things differently than the people like that were around when it came out. And we have like our own perspective as people of like this millennia or whatever. And our tastes were definitely a lot more, I feel like, nostalgic for like really older movies, like 80s movies or 80s vibes in particular. The whole 90s kid thing was like a trend for a while. You know, we can have a lot of hindsight and enjoy things for what they're worth, which is pretty cool, I think. You know, we don't have to hate this just because it doesn't have Michael in it. We just know what it is.
Right, absolutely. And that's ultimately the curse of this movie is that what got it made is the fact that it was a Halloween movie, but it was also, you know, having that moniker on it was the curse that, you know, nailed it in its coffin for fans,
But why
moviegoers.
why did it need to have the Halloween title to it? Why couldn't it just exist?
The original idea was it was going to be like Michael was dead after 2. And I don't know how well you remember 2, but
Not really well, I'll be honest. But
he dies at the end.
Right.
Him and Loomis both burn in a fire at the hospital. And even in the marketing and on the press run, they were saying, no, this is the end of Michael. Michael's dead. You know, John Carpenter wanted out. You know, everybody, there was nothing left to say with Michael. But they, you know, the producers still wanted to use the name. They wanted to capitalize on that. You know what I mean? So they were going to make an anthology film series where every movie was going to tie into Halloween, like the holiday in some way, but not be like a Michael movie.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea.
And then this killed.
but then like
They
fans
just-
just were like, no, screw that. We want
Yeah.
Michael.
Then Mustafa Akkad came along and said, nope, we're bringing everybody back. Sam Loomis, wake up. Michael, wake up. Nobody burned to death. What are you talking about? The only one who doesn't survive those movies is the one who actually survives, which is Jamie Lee Curtis.
Right.
Because at the beginning of 4, she's already like dead. From not from Michael either.
Hmm.
We'll watch Friday. We'll watch Halloween 4 one day.
Yeah.
I've seen that movie well over 100
That's not
times.
H2O though.
Oh, no, that's not H2O. You've got
Okay.
movies. You've got 4, 5, 6, and then H2O.
Gotcha.
And then Resurrection, baby.
What was
Busta Rhymes kills fucking Michael.
Busta Rhymes?
Yeah, man.
That's pretty cool. That sounds stupid, but
Tyra
cool.
Banks is like his wife.
That
It's
sounds
a wild,
really
it's a
stupid.
wild cast. Wild cast.
But mentioning how, like, you know, I guess the way that this movie was made, like, it's kind of has an anthology kind of thing going on. Like, at least that was the plan. You see Halloween, the movie, the first movie, featured like in this as like a TV special.
Yeah.
Like, hey, catch Halloween, and then you hear like you hear the music. It's like catch it on ABC Family or whatever. Like it's someone's
Right.
watching it on TV.
Sponsored by Silver Shamrock, too.
Of course. So yeah, like this is a universe that's altogether like separate. Like Halloween literally was just a movie.
Also with the inclusion of Nancy Loomis, who plays Tom Atkins' wife. in this,
Exactly. That was weird.
who is Annie in the original film.
Yeah.
And it looks like fucking 20 years older in the span of 5 years.
She
between-
still didn't look like she should be his wife.
Yeah.
She looks
true.
much younger. Any freaking woman that he's with, at least I guess those two,
Mm-hmm.
look like they can be his daughters. He's a creepy man with that mustache. Not the mustache's
This
fault,
is
though.
definitely his creepiest performance.
Not
if
the
you watch him
mustache's
in The
fault.
Fog, which we'll see. We're going to see the Fog.
Yeah.
Or like Night of the Creeps. He's a much, you're like, I like that guy.
He's less creepy in Night of the Creeps.
Yeah, Night of the Creeps is amazing. Yeah,
go
we're
figure.
going to do that one day.
Okay.
There's aliens and zombies.
Okay.
But they brought a lot of the crew back for this movie. That's why it looks like a Halloween movie. I think it's the last one that does.
Yeah,
When
the
you start getting into
cinematography's good.
4, it starts getting really kind of bland. And I hate saying anything bad about Halloween 4 because that was like my favorite movie growing up. But like it doesn't look like a Halloween movie, and like I've watched it a few times over the past few years, and like I'm just like, this is such a generic slasher. It's just got Michael. That's it.
But this one does look
You've
really
got,
great.
This one does look great. They brought a lot of the crew from 1 and 2 back. They brought Dean Cundy back on the cinematography end of it, who is just like the best cinematographer ever.
Yeah. I don't know about all that, but I mean, he did great work with this.
You'll
in
see
particular.
once you watch The Thing, you'll understand. You've seen Jurassic Park. You know what he can do.
That still doesn't qualify him as the best cinematographer. I'm not so big on
Are we going to
Spielberg.
argue about this right now? Because I'll tell you the exact same thing I told him when I met him,
Yeah, what's that?
which is that he shot the best shot of Steven Spielberg's career.
That's
which
true.
Which is the shot in the Jeep in Jurassic Park of the girl hiding in the front seat and the T-Rex looks in and his pupil contracts.
Yeah.
It's the best shot of Steven Spielberg's career.
It's awesome. It looks real.
Motherfucker
To
is
this
amazing.
day, it looks real.
Oh, well, yeah, that's like, oh, God, they had everybody on that movie.
Yeah.
They had fucking Stan Winston doing effects, Dean Cundy on the camera, Steven Spielberg as director, Jeff Goldblum. They had Jeff Goldblum.
Man, fuck Jeff Goldblum, man.
Man, I really wish you said that during the horror news portion because that'd be a great way to cut it. Oh, my God. We're going off the rails here,
We
man.
are, we
Yeah.
are.
Oh, Halloween 3. So, also, bringing back Dick Warlock, who is Michael in the second movie.
And
as
owner of the greatest name of all time.
Yeah. And he plays one of the robots. I guess he's the one who has the who Tom Atkins puts his like fist through, and he kills the guy who
Yeah,
rips off the homeless dude's head.
Yeah.
That's Dick Warlock. He was the stuntman on a lot of it. He was the guy driving the car when it like crashes towards the end. He does a lot. He's like a legendary stuntman. Fun fact: you know that orange stuff that bubbles out of his mouth and whatnot?
Yeah.
That's just frozen orange juice.
Huh.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's pretty
concentrated orange
yellowy,
juice.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gross.
Yeah. And then like so like even the stuff like that when it gets on their hands.
Yeah,
like
like
that's still frozen orange juice.
Gross.
I
Don't like
orange
that.
juice though.
I do like orange juice
With pulp.
with pulp.
Good. You like that, but you don't like crunchy peanut butter.
Eh.
Ugh, weirdo.
Oh my god. The music in this, man.
Yes.
The fucking music in this.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's Carpenter's best score. Like Halloween is iconic, but this is him like really exploring a certain sound that's like I think what people think about when they talk about the Carpenter sound.
kind of the more like synthy kind of things. Not so
Yeah,
much
ambient,
about like,
Stranger Things, like
Yeah, they
ripping off
heavily
all that.
ripped off,
Yeah.
yeah.
That movie and Christine being like the big, examples of that sound.
Mm.
Because you look at the original Halloween score, and that's all just piano. There's
Yeah.
there's not a lot of synth in that. There's synth in Halloween too,
Hmm.
and by the time you get to like the mid to late '80s, he's already doing like guitar shit with like,
Yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China. He's already going into his like I'm a rock star phase.
Well, you do have a little bit of like synth, right? In the first one, you have like the boom, boom. That's not synth,
I think it's just electric piano.
really.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
little
Well-
touches of synth. You know what's synth? That
Oh,
that
like that little-
motif thing. he
yeah.
does. Yeah.
When he walks up.
Mhm.
Oh my god, that played when we were in what was it, Waldorf?
Yeah.
And I legitimately like had to turn around. Like I got scared. Like it's just a good cue, a good musical cue.
That whole soundtrack is just good cues.
Yeah. But no, this one has really great music, and it sounds like I remember we were talking about like how Carpenter now seems like he's kind of having more fun. Again, I guess like in his later years. I feel like this is kind of like the start of him having fun doing like the scores and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he wanted to be a musician beforehand, didn't he? Isn't that
Yeah,
like,
he was in a band.
yeah. So it feels like he's kind of like getting into that element of like merging the movie stuff that he found himself in and having fun with the music that he's making for it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is not like there's no like main theme or anything from this that's like super iconic on the level of something like Halloween or Escape from New York or like Assault on Precinct 13, but it's just so musically sound. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're talking like deep cuts versus like greatest hits, you know what I mean? And this is like the pure good deep cuts that really make you appreciate Carpenter as a musician.
Yeah.
And he doesn't play any of it on tour. He only does the hits. He doesn't do Halloween 2 or 3. He doesn't even do like Laurie's theme or anything from Halloween. He just does the basic 5/4 dee doo doo dee doo doo dee doo dee doo dee.
That's it.
Yeah, he just does like there's so many great little musical moments within all of his movies that aren't like main themes. I really wish he would do a tour where he's playing some more deep cuts.
Yeah, put the deep cuts on, man.
Do whatever. I mean, I'm still gonna pay for it. You know what I mean?
Like, you're gonna meet him.
Yeah, I'm still. Yeah, I
Yeah.
spent the collective like $500 on both shows because like I was just like, whatever, however much you can give me, just give it to me.
That's crazy.
It's Carpenter, man.
That's love,
my
though.
fucking hero.
Yeah. So hold on. Let's. I want to talk a little bit more about like the story, and since IMDb did do such a disservice, please, Doug, give
Me?
us a little synopsis on the movie.
Okay. Well, it opens on a man running down the street,
Sounds
or
like-
down like an empty sort of road, back road sort of deal.
Yeah.
Being pursued by some men in suits. And he's got this mask in his hand, and he evades them until he finally reaches a convenience store or a gas station clerk. And he says they're going to kill us all before he, kind of faints. They bring him to a hospital, and then one of his pursuers meet him there and kills him in a very violent fashion with a nice
Oh,
like
it's
skull
gross.
pop
Yeah.
before setting himself and his car on fire.
After being chased by the doctor.
Yeah.
Dr. Dan.
Yeah, Danny.
Danny.
Yeah, Touchy Dan. That's what I'm going to call him for the rest of this. And chaos sort of ensues. Nobody knows what happened, what's wrong. They just know he had this mask with him. And Dr. Dan wants to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Along comes the dead man with the mask's daughter, who also wants to find out about her father's death. And so they head to, God, was there a name to that town?
Wasn't it like shit? What is it? Something kind of like Latin sounding. I can't find it. Hold on, I'll have to look for it.
Well, it's basically like this whole work community that's all based around like the Silver Shamrock Mask Factory.
Yeah, like
Toy
literally,
factory,
it's just-
really. I mean, like they implied that he's made other stuff before that. So it's like a toy factory. They have their own like internal bank and hospital and stores, and basically everybody who lives there works for Silver Shamrock in one way or another.
To a degree, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's just that town lives and breathes it because of what that factory is doing.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
they're all kind of also indebted to Silver Shamrock. So no one is upset with them, and one thinks like there's some crazy, or at least there's that homeless man
Yeah.
who has some choice words about them, and ends up meeting his demise because of his words.
Right. They're all under constant surveillance.
Cameras everywhere.
There's just something off about all of his like little cronies that he's got going on. And the homeless man even says, "Oh, they didn't give anybody a job there in the factory. He brought everybody in."
Yeah, everyone who works there is like not from that town.
And as the age-gapped duo of Ellie and Touchy Dan investigate further, they uncover a plot that is part sci-fi, part like witchcraft to basically eliminate the human race as one giant Samhain sacrifice
And I
through little chips
yeah,
in the back of the masks.
those little shamrock thingies.
Yeah.
Yeah, little pin-looking
disc.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And while we were watching this, you even said to me, you looked at me and you were like, you have no idea what this movie's about. And I genuinely did not. Like, I had no, and I I'm following along. I'm seeing that, like, this guy's holding on to this mask. Obviously, something has to do with the Silver Shamrock. You just keep hearing that really catchy London Bridge tune that they have for their commercials.
2 more days till Halloween.
Really catchy.
It's so good.
Annoyingly so. And yeah, so I was like, okay, there's definitely something going on with these guys. That's not like, it's not very subtle. But I still did not know, like, at the end, like, what the plan was. And I didn't know that it had to do with, all the kids gathering around and watching TV and having these things basically mutilate them. We got a little glimpse of what that was like in the hotel when I think it's like a store clerk went to go pick up her masks for his store, was screwing around with like the little nickel, huge silver thing, and then ends up getting like her face blown off from it. And then like a bug, lots of bug stuff.
Lots of bugs and snakes.
Yeah. It's cool. It's a cool premise.
Yeah.
It felt like just like one of those really cool short horror stories. Like it's not like a huge overarching story. It's just like a clever premise, and you're along for the ride.
I like that it's a pretty small, contained film. There's like a limited amount of sets, and but like the implications are huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like, did you see The Invitation from a couple years ago?
No, but it's on my queue, my Netflix queue.
It's sort of like that, where it's all takes place relatively in the same area, but the implications are huge.
I might just watch that over the weekend then.
Yeah.
One thing that I absolutely loved about this movie though is the like ending, the actual like ending scene. It's a really fantastic scene, a fantastic way to end this movie. He's like, spoiler alert again. We should really have spoiler alerts like at the beginning of the episode or something.
If you're irresponsible enough to listen to this without watching the movie first, y'all got some homework to do, fans. All 6 of you.
Yeah.
Talking to you, Lindsay.
I mean, it's true. That's my thinking of it too. Like if you're listening to this, like you're rest assured you're probably gonna hear something you didn't want to hear if you haven't seen it.
Right.
But anyway, I'm literally talking about the ending here. He's like racing to get all of it off the air because once like the TV show like has it on, all the kids are like gathering around waiting for like a sweepstakes basically to see who wins or whatever. He's just calling up the news station. He's like, turn it off, and oh, it's just so good. I don't want to give too much away, honestly, but it's just so good. Like it ends on such a stark note. You have no idea really what happens.
You got to assume that everybody's dead.
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. It could easily be the case that he succeeded.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nice little cliffhanger.
It's so good.
Yeah.
There's no resolution. I love it.
They asked Tommy Lee Wallace to actually direct Halloween 2 when John Carpenter wouldn't take up the directing spot. And he didn't like the idea that they were doing more Michael Myers at all. So,
let alone it being like 10 seconds after the first one ends.
like straight up, like boom. Which is fine. I kind of like that about H2. But yeah, he did not like the place that they were taking Michael Myers at all. So he skipped out. And then, they offered him again for Season of the Witch, and he took that up. And he really liked the idea, and he fell in love with it. He did his own rewrites. There was actually, like, I forgot who the original writer of the script is, but then it went to John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, to do rewrites. And then it went to Tommy to do rewrites. and Tommy is the only one who gets like actual writing credit within the movie.
And John Carpenter, he was producer.
Yeah,
mainly,
he's a
right?
producer on this their EP, and then he also did the music with Alan Howarth,
Yeah.
who's a lovely man.
You met him too?
Yeah, Alan Howarth is great.
Wow. You meet all these cool people.
Just from the Halloween series, man. I love Halloween. But yeah, he in the commentary for the movie, Tommy Lee Wallace described the basic premise as witchcraft meets the computer age and how that intersects, which is an interesting premise that I don't think I've seen anywhere else, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's. I don't think it's very familiar. I can't think of any other instance like that. I will say too, to bring it back to the digital age thing. I'm jumping back and forth. I talked about the end. Now I want to talk about the beginning, the opening, the title sequence. So cool.
The
It took
pumpkin.
it took me a while to realize what was happening. Like the pumpkin is like loading on a screen. It's just a callback to like the original like Halloween opening. Like you see the pumpkin just get bigger and bigger. Same thing with the second one until like it opens up.
Yeah.
I think, right? Is that the right? Yeah. So on this one, you see like a computer screen pumpkin, like just slowly getting digitized. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But no, that is such a cool like element. I mean, this is like what year was this movie?
82.
Yeah. So like
Came out the year after Halloween. Like they were just dying to capitalize on more. Thanks, Dino De Laurentiis.
so they're getting like into like the whole '80s tech stuff, height of like the whole Reaganism and all that. So. I think it's such a cool. It's always a cool thing to influence or have influences of like, classic horror elements mixed with like technology in some way, and it's so cool to see that happening like in that era, like within the '80s, not like just a callback or something. Like it's literally happening, with such a cool story. I can't get enough of it. I wish it wasn't as creepy with the two characters with Touchy Dan.
Yeah, touchdown, baby.
Yeah, like I know I might be like harping on this too much, but it was just I don't know.
Even
it
like
was
the
like
nurse, like right at
Yeah.
the beginning, he's like rubbing her back and going like, "Oh, you want to take a nap with me?"
and what
Like,
makes it all the worse is that like his wife is like he doesn't give a shit about his
you
wife.
see
for,
her
like,
in
most-
one scene.
Yeah.
one scene you see her.
and then like he calls her finally at the end to like, hey, get the kids away from the screen. That's it. Like she calls him, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm sorry, I gotta
It's
go.
always dismissive. It's always
Yeah.
I gotta go. I can't talk.
He's such a dick. And like
I wonder if anybody realized like when they were writing like, wow, we're writing a real asshole here.
and he's not even like a reluctant hero because he chose to do this.
Yeah,
He's very like
because he wants to get laid, man. He saw like the cute young girl come through, banged her a couple times, and then said, "Wait, how old are you?"
yeah. Yeah.
Christ,
Creepy.
You know why they had 3 masks? Fun fact.
No.
Because Tommy was troubled over the fact that it was called a Halloween movie, and he said Halloween 3. Well, we'll make the mask that Halloween 3, like
So just
3
masks.
Halloween masks. Yeah,
What were they again? You had the jack-o'-lantern, you had the witch.
the witch and the skeleton. The skeleton, I love that mask. Actually, I love them all, but the skeleton especially. They were already made by Don Post. Those are existing mask designs. And to make the third, he kind of like Don Post workshopped with Tommy and the rest of the crew to like figure out what the third mask would be.
It was cool to see in the movie how they do the casts. Like you literally see
And
them.
that's how they make masks.
Yeah.
That is straight up. That's how they made the masks that they made for this movie, like the merchandise masks. And they got to shoot in Don Post Studios, and Don Post made all the masks himself. Got to shoot I think all that's on the Universal lot, or at least it used to be.
like in Cali or
Yeah,
like
in California. All those interior sets, like the toy museum and whatnot.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
We should go out there. We should do that for a road trip.
Oh God, yeah.
I want to uncover some kind of conspiracy together.
Oh, that'll be good content for the show.
Yeah. Like there's so much conspiracy in this movie, and like they like go into the facility just kind of touring around. They piggyback on like this other guy who's like a top salesman, who's the first family to get like terrorized by their plan. Cool scene there too. Yeah, I don't know, something about that. I think that'd be fun, you and I to do.
Yeah.
Just find out about some evil plot. We should.
There's
we
that
should go to
thing about-
Amazon headquarters.
We should and
Yeah.
just snoop around.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing about the real Miley Cyrus being buried in the desert too.
Wait, you want to go dig her up?
Yeah, let's go dig up some Miley or
Is
like
that like the Avril Lavigne thing? Like,
Oh yeah, that thing
That's
too.
a good one.
Lindsay told me something about there's some kind of conspiracy about Mattress Firm.
Whoa, what?
It's something about how there's so many of them and they're always open and you like I don't know.
Oh, I'm interested. I want to know more about that one.
I was like, no, yeah, they just tried to like build tons of stores to make money. The only, conspiracy is bad capitalism. And that's really what this movie is about. It's a very anti-consumerist film that sort of blames the consumer as much as the capitalist. What do you feel about the themes of this?
That kids should not be too close to the TV because they'll rot their eyes out. Don't believe in mass advertising, even though that's
you're
what I
a
wanna do.
marketer.
Yeah, that's like the whole field I'm trying to get into. Yeah, if you see trends, if you see that a lot of people are buying a certain thing, you should be a lot more suspicious about it. Not necessarily that it's gonna be mind control, but that it is a trend, and maybe it's not good for you. It doesn't have to be rotting your brain or making snakes climb out of your mouth, but odds are it's probably not good for you. That's what I'm getting out of this. I'm so anti, I don't know, just mind, brainwashing kind of stuff. Like that whole hysterical, oh, I need to have this thing kind of thing. Again, I'm shooting myself in the foot. Like, if any future employer hears what I have to say about
And you put this on your portfolio.
Yeah. Hey, hire me as a copywriter, please. But no, I mean, it's just something so weird about it, this movie, it kind of takes it to, the huge level where, literally, their commercials are on everywhere, which is weird. Yeah, I don't know. It definitely does have to deal with, I guess, mass consumerism. I guess, maybe the heartlessness of how things can be mass produced, because everybody that works there is, I don't know if everybody that works there are robots, but, the people behind it are literally robots. This guy is an evil robot maker. Be wary of big corporations. Again, I cannot stress it enough. I'm never going to work for Amazon, so, be wary of things like Amazon. They should not be owning the world. Nobody should be that rich. Ever.
You're right.
Ever.
Ever.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting out of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I'm going to just keep calling it full name.
Well, do you have anything else to say about this, man?
I wish we got more. I wish we got more anthology stuff, Halloween related. Imagine if there were more movies that even Carpenter scored or something, or that kind of went past him. He kind of reviewed the writing of.
That's an interesting kind of what if is what if he was a musician for hire and scored some of the other movies of the 80s. Imagine him scoring something like Nightmare on Elm Street or any other 80s horror canon. Imagine him scoring RoboCop.
Ugh, I might have liked it more.
Oh, fuck you. God damn it.
No, this is, and I mean that too. I really wish there were more. I guess it is just literally a what if, because we'll never get that. But this was such a good movie. I can understand why it got the flack that it did. But I'm also glad that it's getting the love that it, I would say, deserves now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, great movie, really cool.
So, is it time to announce the next one?
Oh, we're gonna announce the next movie.
Oh yeah, sorry
because
we forgot to do that
doing
last time.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right.
That's what happens when Doug goes away and we got to record a bunch of episodes all in one hit.
Yeah, and it's just long days. I have things to do right after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and I just keep you from everything. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you take up so much of my time. All right, what's the next movie?
We are doing John Landis's seminal 1981 groundbreaking
More 80s movies.
horror comedy, An American Werewolf in London.
An American what?
Werewolf.
Where?
London.
Sweet.
Werewolf London. I wish. We're going to review that track for an hour and a half. Expected in 2 weeks. There's going to probably be a lot of Warren Zevon jokes in the next episode.
I hope so. We're going to do more of that.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Catch in the next episode as part of our episode 17 special, our entire vocalized rendition of Werewolves in London. But Yeah, I think this is on Netflix. Is it on Netflix now?
It might be. Hold on.
Do we need the music?
I think so. Yeah, give me some music. Oh, it's gonna take a while. Oh God, having no connection here. Am I spelling American right? Like, what's okay? I'm gonna click this. Interview with a Vampire. It looks like it's not on here.
Ah, damn it! I think it's on Shudder though.
I can't check that, so I don't
No.
know.
You could definitely find it, and it's definitely in stores. Go to your local library and rent a DVD copy.
Yeah, support your local libraries. Support socialism.
Yes.
Yeah.
But okay. Definitely watch that for the next episode. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review,
Yeah.
and get us on our social media. We are on Twitter at good_suffering. We are on Instagram at Good Suffering Podcast. And we are on Facebook at Good Suffering: a horror podcast. Thank you.
Hold on. One more thing.
You're cutting into my spiel. I don't cut into your little horror news bullshit.
You have before.
Okay.
You very
Okay.
much- yeah.
Fair.
We're probably, I don't know, past the cusp for a lot of states to register. But if you haven't already, make sure to register and make sure to just vote. We need this. We're in a dire situation in America. This is quite serious. That's Ginsburg.
Don't forget, we live in a society, and once again, this has been Good Suffering.